Hello and welcome to Doomed Colonist, the tabletop role-playing game show that's slowly aging me into an early grave. I'm joined tonight by a trio of fantastic people as we begin session 1 of our special spin-off campaign, our little mini scenario campaign, which is related to our currently ongoing campaign in Those Dark Places, The Cradle. I'm joined tonight by AD Nicol and Decayed Andy from The Fluff and Hammer.
Hello!
Hello. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Andy is waving, just for the benefit of viewers at home. You just can't see.
No, I'm not.
He's waving, but it's somebody else's arm.
For the viewers at home watching on a black and white set. But besides these two fantastic gents, we also have the OG Doomed Colonist himself, Dudley.
Hello.
You alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who these new people are. I'm distrustful.
It's alright. It's alright. It'll be fairly painless. I'll probably kill you all off by the end of this session, so you'll never have to see him again if you don't want to.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you feel distrustful, then what we need to do, instead of having an RPG session, is we need to do a little bit of improv and just spend some time getting to know each other, getting to know the beasts and the creatures that we are. You know, just pass the ball of light round to everybody else.
And you know what?
Hang on, no. I'm taking over now.
Okay, I like you now.
You know.
I think we should try some trust exercises. I'll stand up and fall over backwards and one of you catch me.
Can we knock on the crystal maze? I'd prefer that. That'd be more fun.
Get your hand on Richard O'Brien's shiny crystal balls.
Yeah, no, I am bald, so...
All you need now is a long coat and some weirdly inappropriate language.
You can do at least one of those things.
I've got one of those down pat, yeah.
And he's going to buy a long coat tomorrow.
Yeah. I think
yeah.
I've got one, actually, yeah.
I mean, we could just sit here and talk about our worst sexual experiences, or our favorite.
We could,
colour
but
of
that's
ice
the
cream.
sort of thing that the glass cannon guys do. And I'm not joking. They did actually do that, didn't they? On an episode of, what was it, Time for Chaos?
I can't remember.
This is the second time we've made a joke in reference to glass cannon in this particular mini campaign.
Well, to be fair, I am literally going through everything from Get in the Trunk, starting from episode 0, season 1, right the way through, back to back. And I'm hoping I get to the end of this season.
Don't tell the people at home that, because they'll just go and watch them instead of us. Yeah, as they should, quite frankly. I mean,
Quick, do spoilers.
yeah, Roger dies in the end. Yeah,
Roger comes in the end.
we've just elevated the in-jokes, I think, to a level that's going to, one, get us demonetized, and two, get us on their bad side. But what I thought we would do, just to kick us off before we get down to the main mucky business of playing our game, is like, eagle-eyed viewers might have seen from the lovingly prepared intro sequence, which aired just before we started this lunacy. This particular mini-campaign is being put on in association with The Fluff and Hammer, which is represented, as I said earlier, by Adam and Decayed Andy. Guys, for the benefit of anyone watching this, thinking, what the flirkin' schnurt is a Fluff and Hammer, would you like to, in your own words, or perhaps via the medium of interpretive dance, tell the viewers at home what the Fluff and Hammer is?
In theory, the Fluff and Hammer is a fortnightly show about Warhammer. In theory.
In theory.
It's not that at all.
But the reality is that it's a group of 3 guys who get together, 2 of which have very little social life these days, and George, our resident author. And we just kind of get talking. And sometimes we get onto Warhammer. We try to get back to Warhammer. Most of the time it's stuff like Lovecraft's Cat, which if you don't know the name of, I'm not going to say out loud.
Yeah, it's like, we're already demonetized enough.
I'll get further demonetized. By the time I finish, people, you'll be having to give money to people to put these up.
Reparations.
Lovecraft's Reparations. My favourite Lovecraft story. Yeah, I mean, we kind of get into... Now we kind of just course-corrected the show a little bit, so we're now talking topics. So it's, in theory, a topic-based show where we pick something out from the history of Warhammer and Games Workshop and related areas, and we have a discussion about it. Our memories, our feelings, our thoughts, what we did with it, and those type of things. I am looking forward to, at some point, sitting down with a copy of Dogs of War with Andy and just reading through it. It does mean I have to buy Andy a copy of Dogs of War, though.
I've got a copy. I mean, if you want to buy me another one, you can do, but
I don't have to buy Andy a copy of Dogs of War. I've just saved myself 60 quid.
You can buy me a copy of the Sisters of Battle Codex, though, if you like.
We'll see if you're a good boy for your birthday.
Is that the one with the interesting cover artwork? You know what I mean.
I don't, actually.
Yeah. We'll talk about that offline, I think. Because
you mean Amazon Gothique, the John Blanche piece of art, which is an absolute stunning piece of work.
Possibly the one that they turned into a miniature.
Huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
It got turned into a miniature. Absolutely stunning.
Funny story. I knew a lady some years ago, and I used to meet her every weekend for a cup of coffee, and we would sort of sit down and we would talk about what was going on in our lives. Spitting image of the woman in that image. Their hair was just... The first time I saw that illustration, actually, because I've only sort of gotten to know the length and breadth of Warhammer recently, and I'm only sort of casually interested in it. The first time
through
I saw
the Flufferhammer, of course, right?
Of course, through the Flufferhammer, through you guys.
Yeah.
But like the first time I saw that image, I was like, oh my goodness, that's her.
It was the really high boots and the bolter that really gave it away.
Yeah, it was. I think it says something about me as a red-blooded man that I looked at that image and the first thought I had was, how on earth does she even walk in those things?
It was the 90s, a very different time.
But I'm just so that our friend over here doesn't feel left out, I'm just going to ask Dudley, and I already know the answer to this. So, any knowledge of Warhammer, Dudley?
Why was walking different in the 90s?
Well, you see, due to the placement of the Earth to the Sun and how it slightly moved, gravity was ever so slightly higher.
Actually, a better answer than I was expecting.
Eat that, physicists.
And people said to me, don't do these streams, H, they're a waste of time. Nothing useful will come. Look at the information we're getting out of this. It's amazing.
Would you guys like to know a really weird fact?
Of course.
No, this is not. This is just going to go off. This is how every podcast goes.
I tend to think Andy's going to know about these things, and I'm going to hide behind him.
Right? When did ghosts become transparent?
I mean, somewhere around like Paint Shop Pro 5, where they added that slider.
You're closer to the truth than you think you are.
Yeah, I suspected I might be.
Around about 1870. Because there used to be these things called phantasmagorias, where you would go to a hall, like a town hall or something, and they would use these little lantern projectors to make ghosts appear, and they would, because of the way that the technology worked, it changed how you saw them, so they became transparent. Up until that point, ghost reports and people saying they'd seen ghosts, there'd only ever been severed limbs that you could see, or full people. They weren't see-through, they weren't transparent. Until then, because media changes how we report on the paranormal.
That is
fascinating.
Genuinely interesting. Do you know, it reminds me of my own paranormal experience that I had. I told you guys the story before about how I was walking down the street one day and I noticed on the floor what appeared to be the body of a tiny dead ghost. When I got closer, it was just someone who dropped a handkerchief, but the old ones are the best.
I just like the idea of the body of a tiny dead ghost, which gives the idea that you can die again when dead.
That is the kind of luck I generally have.
Just the idea of somebody trying to do CPR on a ghost.
That's the Frighteners plot line, isn't it?
Oh shit, it is, yeah.
Hang on,
Yeah.
I can try this. Wait. Unlive, damn you!
Unlive, damn you! Unlive!
Dudley getting like Ed Harris in the Abyss with Mary Elizabeth minestrone soup. Like, you never backed away from anything before in your life. Now fight!
So how did the stream go last night, Dudley? Well, I tried to do CPR on a ghost and it was downhill from there.
Yeah, that's a lot of words to say not according to plan.
Well, the worrying thing is I think that was pretty much according to plan.
Speaking of plans, I think we should probably get down to actually playing our game of Those Dark Places. We're playing our spin-off campaign, which bears the title of The Gramtech Incident. A bit of a delayed reaction, but
Oh, that was a reaction line. Sorry.
Would you prefer?
The Gramtech Incident.
We'll blame it on internet lag and just...
Why don't we blame it on internet lag?
Why don't we blame it on internet lag?
I think we should blame it on internet lag. I'm using Windows Explorer.
You bastards are just doing this to make the edit difficult for me, aren't you? You know how much I struggle with that anyway. God, grief. Just to give viewers at home a little bit of extra context, what we're doing here is we're playing a short scenario. I'm hoping it's going to be short, which is set in the same continuity as our campaign, The Cradle. And like we're away from those events, playing out a little side story with some new characters. I'm not going to say whether there's any connections one way or another between the two. We just see how things go. But if we're all sitting comfortably, would you like the preamble for the game that describes the predicament that you're all going to find yourselves in with your player characters?
Only if you do it in like a Postman Pat style.
No. Let me call up the document and I'll get this read for you. Here we go. It is the year 2447. In the far distant Calth star system, the crew of the civilian ore recovery vessel, the CSS Nantucket, battles against time and unforeseen disaster to recover the largest ever haul of the highly coveted extraterrestrial element, zenithite, an undertaking which will have profound consequences not just for the crew, but potentially for humanity as a species. But while this high-stakes drama plays out on the fringes of charted space, a little closer to home, slightly more mundane affairs are about to unfold, by 25th century standards at least. The Eucharis system, home to approximately 4 billion people, is one of the breadbaskets of the new frontier. Besides the system's world-side agricultural hubs, it also plays host to dozens of remote orbital algae processing stations. Here, synthetic food substitutes are grown to order before being sent off-site to be turned into juicy comestibles for public consumption. Or, more likely, tasteless ration bars to restock the stores of deep space vessels. On the bleeding edge of the frontier, after all, flavour is sometimes a luxury. As solutions for feeding the burgeoning interstellar populace go, it's not too fancy. In fact, the process is so streamlined these days that many remote stations are left in the care of artificial crews, or sometimes just a single AI core. The only trouble is, self-maintenance isn't their strongest suit, and sometimes these systems break down. Take, for example, the remote algae processing facility PX01223AT, one of 4 such stations in orbit over Eucharis 3. Presided over by an integrated Jerry 9000 series AI with a crew of just 2 synthetic adjuncts, it's been running like clockwork for years, until 2 days ago, when the station suddenly went dark. The facility's owners, Gramtech Food Products, have called upon a team of freelance troubleshooters, that's you guys, to travel to the station, assess its condition and, if possible, bring it back online. As your vessel, ingeniously named the Rocket, speeds towards its destination, all of you are in the midst of final preparations for what you expect will be a simple, routine maintenance operation. So, tell me, what's the mood aboard the ship as you close on the facility, and what are you all doing?
Well, having obviously insisted I be Helm's officer, because obviously it is my ship, I am up there flying, despite the fact the autopilot is engaged. So what you're seeing is very much like a child on one of those rides outside the supermarket. So the ship's just bumbling along entirely automatically, and I'm sat there going...
You're not trying to look remotely cool while you're doing it then?
No, I'm flying a ship. I'm inherently cool to begin with.
Okay, it might be a good point to remind the viewers at home, who is your character?
The character is Guns McGregor, a recent inheritor of the corporation that owns the ship, Bastard and McGregor, the old BB, and MG.
I've heard it's a traditional name in the Slavic regions. Do go on, yeah.
He's the security officer of the ship because he is massive, and he's the helms officer of the ship because he insisted.
Good reason. And you, I believe, are in charge of this operation.
Nominally so, yes.
What about the rest of you? How are you, Adam, Andy, how are your characters spending their last few moments on the ship?
What you see in the little cockpit of the ship next to the giant man in a tiny chair who is bouncing around on a reinforced spring that has taken a lot of welding to deal with the huge Hulkian bulk of our captain and the fact that this is a tiny, bought cheap chair. Along from there is a man, a very thin man, a man who looks like he's entirely made of elbows, with his feet up on what looks to be a very expensive monitor. And he is currently reading what looks to be a navigation map, the Big Book of Stars. But as the camera pans around, you see he's actually reading the latest in parrot technology. He's just got it hidden underneath the Big Book of Stars cover. He has glasses, he has a unruly beard and hair that appears to be trying to escape from his face, and he is Salvador Splashraag, the navigation officer and overall medic, possibly. And every now and again, one eye peeks over the top of his magazine and looks at the giant Hulkian man on his tiny bouncing chair, and a little sigh emanates from a man who obviously has seen a lot.
I'm sorry, but I'm looking at Dudley and I'm just envisaging Guns McGregor, like, never mind the spaceship or anything. I'm just envisaging him on one of those like Noddy Goes to the Seaside type, like,
Don't think he
cars.
doesn't do it.
The vision I've got in my head is basically Brock Lesnar on like a stagecoach bus chair, you know, and he's just
I can dig
his
it.
width is just too much, and he just kind of sags around the chair. Or at least he would if he wasn't entirely made of bulk and muscle.
Okay. What about Andy? What is your character doing?
I'm sitting there, lovely, just having a good old time, smiling in my seat, singing an ancient human classic song, California Girls.
No.
They're unforgettable. Daisy Duke's bikinis on top. Just remembering the old ancient classics and just ready for the adventure to come.
I wish they all could be California Girls.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you're just
in my own little world.
now. We've outlined already in the preamble what the job ahead is. I'm curious, how are you all feeling? How are your characters feeling about this, what seems to be a mundane job? You're just checking out effectively a food factory that's gone dark. Now, what I'm getting at here is, how experienced would you say you guys are at doing this kind of thing?
What do you mean mundane? I'm getting to fly a ship.
And having the time of your life doing it?
Yes.
I think Salvador he's been working maybe a couple of years doing these kind of jobs. Very low, off the radar, smaller company jobs. Just spending his time just doing what's needed in a way to get a cash in hand paycheck. Possibly trying to get jobs with unintelligent bosses who don't ask too many questions and don't really think too much about things.
Something was said, not good.
That's you, Dudley, yeah.
I think the job interview involved me just handing you a squirrel and saying, look at this.
As the ship nears on its destination, you can see, as the autopilot brings you in, maybe with Guns McGregor going through the motions of trying to look as if he knows what he's doing, steering it into place.
It's all autopilot, of course.
You come up on the Gramtech prefabricated food production facility, PX01223AT. It's a good job I've got that written down, because that's a lot to remember.
I've heard of this one. It is also known as shit farm.
I'm totally willing to let you guys call it that as a slang term. That's fine. That's totally going to stick.
It belongs to the long range of families of shit farmers.
Oh, SCHITT, yeah.
Shit farmers, yes.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. What you notice about the facility as you draw close to it, quite expectedly, is that there are no outward illuminations, no lights, no kind of windows that might give you a glimpse into the facility. Nothing to indicate that there is any human presence there, because there isn't. You know that this facility is fully automated, and the only lights on the facility structure, as it just hangs there in space, that betray any kind of activity at all, are just red and green running lights that just indicate its, what's the term, its spatial alignment for purposes of ships navigating or coming to the facility as you are now. As you draw close and the vessel comes in on an automated landing process, a huge hangar bay door yawns open like the mouth of some massive beast, and you can see that there are some dim lights in there. Really nothing much to give you any view of what's inside. You just see that the hangar is empty and the ship slowly glides in. This means that you're almost ready for go time for your assignment. So tell me what happens now. Guns McGregor, how do you go about supervising the men in your charge?
It's fairly simple. I just say it's time to get off the ship. We're going to use the ship-to-ship transport. Obviously, they're experienced guys. They know what they're going to bring. I myself will be bringing my antique pistol. Guns, of course, is a gun savant, which is why he only ever uses savant-branded guns.
Could we get a close-up on that for the viewers? Just a little extra value. Just look at that penmanship.
It's got a TM and everything.
Yes, I care about my shit posting.
Yeah.
You stole my joke.
Sorry.
We should point out we're not sponsored by Nerf, but we totally should be, and by the end of this series, we probably will be, if not sued by them.
I haven't heard of them. This is a savant. Disruptor.
If you say so, Guns.
It says TM. Don't argue with the TM.
As we all know, savant guns were established ages ago.
Yes, it's an antique pistol.
Yeah, it actually says it there, just ages. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't look at the other side for no reason whatsoever.
Is that because it's a non-Euclidean
Come on.
random firing thing?
So what preparations are you going to go about for the mission ahead?
I'm going to sneak up behind Guns and just say, don't forget to tell everybody to put on spacesuit.
Oh yeah, probably should do that.
Just reminding you. I know you haven't forgotten. I'm just reminding you.
When you say everyone, it is just Ted, who I notice is already putting on a spacesuit.
I'm in danger.
You know what the worst part about that is? We were warned about the spacesuit, and me, Dudley, had already forgotten. This is not going to be a stretch role-playing wise, is it?
You are indeed going to need spacesuits because...
Alright, fine.
Some knowledge that you have about the facility that you're going to be inspecting and evaluating is that being an automated factory, it's staffed, as far as you're aware, by 1 AI core and 2 adjunct units. The way the Gramtech Corporation tends to run these places is that these algae processing stations tend to be prefab units. They're made in such a way that their layout will accommodate a human crew, human staff. It will have basic amenities, so there will be facilities that you can make use of in there. But you know that because this station isn't crewed by actual human personnel, there will be no atmosphere, no gravity. This is what you're walking into. So you're all going to have to don environment suits.
How much oxygen do we have to use before we start to panic?
You don't have to worry about that, I'm going to say.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah.
I wanted to check.
Those dark places is a very rules-light system, so you've got no... I don't believe there are any mechanics for tracking oxygen or anything. That's
How is the algae growing if there's no oxygen?
That is because...
Space algae.
Would you like to take a look on the map screen at the actual facility?
Yes, please.
I can give you some further details.
I'll just get into my suit. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah. Let's assume we're doing that while we're looking at the map.
Let me just arrange that for you. Okay, here we are. And this is the layout of the facility. You have entered via the landing bay. This is where your ship, the rocket, is slowly coming to rest. And this schematic, we can say, you already know as a maintenance team what the layout of the station is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, the entire west wing is taken up with the produce vats, where the algae is processed. Now, this part of the facility does have its own regulated atmosphere. There are controls located within the station, in the power control station, which will enable you to activate or deactivate life support systems. But the algae produce vats, like I say, they do have a regulated atmosphere for purposes of processing the algae. So there's atmosphere on that level. It's maybe not enough to sustain human life all by itself. It might need a bit of assistance that way, but there is enough going on there that it can do its thing. So you tell me, what happens now? Have you got a plan for how you're going to go about this maintenance operation?
We're going to admin.
You're going to admin. All right. Okay, interesting decision. I'm curious as to why.
I'm assuming that if there is any information about what went wrong here, it's going to be on the computers in admin. And if not, that's where they keep the good coffee.
Good logic. Good logic. Yeah.
Should we not use the Jerry 9000 interface to talk to the AI system?
That would be a logical course of action.
Don't trust computers.
There is one small detail though, which is that before you can get into the main complex, you've got to negotiate the airlock in the landing bay. And at this point, are you preparing to disembark from the ship yet, or are you still sort of formulating your plan?
I've got everything I need.
Plan?
I think the best thing to do would be to go to admin, make coffee, look at coffee because we cannot drink coffee through a giant helmet, feel sad about ourselves, then go look and see what admin office has, and then we go to computer core if we can't get any response.
It's a good plan. Yes, I like. Going to take us back onto the main screen here just for a second. Now,
not to tread on your toes there, Captain.
No, that works for me. I'm just going to be trying to work up some kind of hose system for the coffee. You can deal with the computer core.
Once you get into the station proper, you like I say, you have got the option that you can look for the controls that bring life support back online, and then you'll be able to walk about unencumbered by your suits if need be.
And drink coffee?
And drink coffee.
I'm in.
I mean, whether you activate the artificial gravity is up to you. You might have fun just sucking drops of coffee out of the air, having a gay old time. But you've got to get into the facility first. And there is a detail that as you look out of the view screen of the rocket, you know, your company-owned vessel.
The racket.
The racket.
The racket rocket.
The racket rocket, yeah. We had some laughs about the name of the ship during character creation. But as you're looking out through the view screen, you can see that the main entrance, which is like the second stage of the airlock, if you like, that leads into the facility, is sealed by a large heavy-duty door. And as the ship is cooling on the landing pad there, you notice that a small construct lights up, and there's some movement in one corner of the landing bay. And you see that what's actually happening here is a small security robot is becoming active. It's got a couple of red lights start to activate. Little appendages start to pop out of the side of it, and it starts to trundle into place in front of the ship. So you're going to have to deal with this before you get into the station proper.
Guns clearly giving away that he's not super familiar with this ship, just sort of starts tentatively pressing buttons in the hope some of them are like lock, put it in park, handbrake, and maybe open the external doors. But he's clearly not super sure. Just sort of reaches down to the manual, take a bit of a flick through it. Possibly the window wipers go a little bit.
Window wipers.
While in the background.
In space.
Yes, every ship has window wipers.
For atmospheric entry, that's fine. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just hear in the background.
Chaps, you might want to collect your stuff. I'll just open the doors.
Ted, have you worked with guns before? Because I've got a couple of concerns.
I've never used a gun before, but I hear they're pretty easy to use. You aim, you fire. Just make sure you aim at the head, right?
That is correct, yes. But I'm talking about the so-called boss of this little outfit, Mr. McGregor himself.
Oh, goons!
Is that how you pronounce it? From Wolverhampton, my English is not great.
I thought it was goons. Who's called guns?
Gooning McGregor. That could be it. It could be it. I have concerns, and there's a saying that we have in my family that springs to mind here, which is, you have so many relationships in this life, and only one or two will last. You go through all the pain and strife, then you turn your back, and they're gone so fast. Gone so fast. Oh, yeah. Mmmbop. You know, as the saying goes, plant a seed, plant a flower, plant a rose. You can plant any one of those. Keep planting to find out which one grows. It's a secret no one knows. It's a secret no one knows. Oh, it's a secret no one knows. Mmmbop. Dee dooba dooba dop.
Guns, of course, is finding this incredibly deep. Like he's genuinely moved.
Mmmbop, they're gone.
I like you, Splash. You've got words to you. Wisdom of the hardy, manly beard that'll never leave your face.
No, my beard is part of my face. It's not fake. Why would you say that?
Well, my dad used to say, if a man has a removable beard, never trust him.
I have heard that about dogs with orange eyebrows, and I firmly believe that you should not ever trust a dog with orange eyebrows.
At this point, Guns waves and says, "Chaps, I found the open door button. It's the one here marked open door. I mean, I already knew where the open door button is. Are you ready to leave?"
I think I've got everything I need. Yes, we are. I think we are ready to go. Ted, are you good to go?
I am. I walk past Splash and I say, "Smooth, so smooth."
Guns proudly presses the open door button like he has decoded Enigma, and the door opens.
So, what are you going to do now? You're just going to grab your gear and set off down the ramp? Alright. As you do this, Salvador, you've just started down the ramp when suddenly you hear an alert over your environment suit systems. Now, this startles you slightly.
Ugh.
It makes you think for a second that there might be something wrong with your suit, but then you realise that it's actually a communications alarm. And as you check the screen inlaid onto the gauntlet of your environment suit, you see there's a text message there that says, "Urgent incoming communication. Confidential. Salvador Splashraag." What do you do?
Open it. Put in my date of birth to open it up. It plays a little bit of 2 Unlimiteds and No Limits to tell me that there's a notification, but in a grand opera style. There's no limits. No. Yes, thank you very much.
Guns again finds this incredibly deep and is moved.
He's got it open.
The message that opens up and is routed to your gauntlet terminal reads as follows.
Sully boy, you're about to learn that you really need to pay more attention for who you work for. Warm regards, Brisk. Ah, shit.
Well, what could that mean?
Yeah. Mmmbop. trying to center himself now with his family, saying, Mmmbop. Mmmbop. That's not good.
This is bad, isn't it?
This is very, very bad.
And as the weight of that is sinking in on you, you're aware as Guns McGregor and Ted Branson step down the ramp past you toward that security robot that you saw activated as it trundles into view and takes up position in front of them. And let's find out how this interaction goes down.
Permission to go and parley with the robot.
Can I pick it up?
It is too heavy to pick up.
Ah.
But there's no
Okay.
gravity, you said, so it's really easy to pick up.
No, this thing stands up to about mid-chest height on an average height human being. And these are quite standard issue things across the frontier. This
is not a Roomba.
It's not a Roomba, no. I mean, maybe a Roomba on steroids, if you like.
Oh.
Salvador comes down the ramp, thoroughly enjoying the feeling of weightlessness as he tries his best not to trip over, trying to look as cool as he can. Lands in front of the robot, puts out both hands and says, Salvador Splashraag of the Rocket, here to solve problems and do basic maintenance if needed.
As you greet this security robot,
Please don't cut me.
it backs up. A small sensor pops up on the front of the thing, and it starts scanning you frantically, and an electronic voice comes out of a speaker somewhere.
Welcome to Gramtech Facility PX012238T. Identify yourselves and state your business.
Captain,
We're here to fix things.
The security robot swivels about on the spot. You see that little sensor that's popped out of its housing darts rapidly between Salvador and Guns McGregor, and then it turns and squares up to Guns McGregor and says,
Welcome to Gramtech Facility PX012238T. Identify yourselves and state your business.
I'm Guns McGregor. We're here to fix things.
One moment, please. I will consult my internal database.
Guns, could you please give me a charisma roll?
It could be worse.
Difficulty 7.
6.
You got a 6.
Good start.
So that's a 6 on your D6 plus your charisma?
No, a 4 on the D6 plus my charisma of 2, making 6.
6.
I'm just going to pick up the gun again. Don't take it as any indication of anything.
oh, the robot. If you check the messages, you will see we are expected. We are the Rocket, and we are here to perform basic maintenance and see what the problem is.
Unfortunately, because Dudley failed his charisma roll,
Oh dear.
that means it is a failed roll. The security robot moves backward very slightly, and it says,
Negative. Error. Your credentials do not match those of the vessel you have arrived in. Please identify yourselves and state your business. This is your final opportunity to correctly identify yourselves and state your business at this facility.
and as it says that, 2 small hatches on the side of the thing open up, and 2 long electrical staves pop out of it, and then split at the ends and turn into revolving stun batons.
Oh no.
I think we're going to have to roll initiative, aren't we? Okay, so the situation is you've failed to adequately identify yourself to this security robot, and it has deployed 2 large stun batons which start to whirl as it approaches both Guns McGregor and Salvador Splashraag. Now it gets to go first, so what I'm going to do is roll for its attack.
Dodge.
Okay, I'm not saying who it was attacking, but it was
Dodge.
It was moving to attack Guns McGregor
Good call.
as it was communicating with Guns directly. So you say you're going to dodge. That means that the target has to go one higher than the target number of 7 on its attack. Now, I rolled a 5, and it has an agility rating of 3. So, unfortunately, it is successful with its attack.
Yeah, that was a dodgy dodge.
Yeah. The weapon is a stun pistol. Well, I say stun pistol, it's a stun baton. So, let's roll for the damage it does. It does 3 damage.
No guns.
Which comes off of your strength rating. So, where does that leave you, Guns?
1.
1. Oh, my goodness.
Ted, you must try and talk it down.
Guns, you've forfeited your action for this round. Salvador, you're up next. What do you do?
I'm going to just try and shoot it.
What weapon have you got there again?
I just have a gun, so
A gun. Did we decided that was a pistol, didn't we?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Well, go for it. This thing is a tank, so it is incapable of dodging. Give us your attack roll, please, and you're looking for a difficulty of 7.
Okay, so that is... Oh god, a 1 plus strength, is it?
Agility. For a
Agility.
ranged attack.
2.
2.
I've rolled a 2.
Oh, we're a shit show.
Oh dear. That means that your shot goes wide, considerably wide, and at this point, the security robot pivots on its axis. Its sensors swivel on their stalks, and it looks at you and squares up, ready to charge.
I'm a healer, not a fighter.
But before it can act, Ted Branson, what are you going to do?
I'm going to shout at it and try and convince it to not attack us.
Okay, I'm going to allow this because this thing is built to deal with intruders, and its actions do strike you as being a little strange. It's quite reasonable, I think, to try to reason with this thing. So, give us a charisma roll, and do you have any crew positions that can help with this?
I have engineering and science.
And science.
If that helps.
I will say that you can use your science officer position, and we'll say the way I'm going to play that is we can use that to add the relevant bonus to this roll, just because you may have some understanding of how these robots work. You may have some inkling of how to reason with it. Give us the roll, please, and we want a 7 or higher.
5, and then plus what? Sorry, charisma.
Yep.
9.
9. Cool.
And then whatever science bonus you want to give me.
That's already a success. I'm going to say...
No, give me a full bonus.
No.
I want it.
You've been successful enough. That's how this game works. I'm going to say that to talk this thing down, you're going to have to make 2 successful charisma rolls. What do you say to this security robot as it's squaring up, making ready to attack Salvador Splashraag?
Hey friend, we've come here to help fix your problems in the station. Our captain made a slight error in judgment. He is Guns McGregor, here to fix the problems in this facility.
The robot backs up, and the stun batons that are protruding from it start to spin, and you see that sensor on the front of it darts about in an almost confused manner, and it says,
Fix problems? This is irregular. Please state your identity and purpose for visiting the station.
My identity is Ted Branson. I am a scientist and checking my thing, engineer. Here sent by the company.
B&M.
Always the real thing.
The security robot whirs and clicks, and it appears to be processing what you're saying, and then turns its attention back to Salvador Splashraag. I'm going to roll another attack.
Dodge.
You want to dodge? Okay.
I didn't like that laugh, so dodge.
Dodge.
I rolled a 1.
Oh well.
So a 1 plus the agility is 3. That means that it lunges for you and it misses.
Mm-hmm.
That does mean, however, that you forfeit your actions for this round.
I misunderstood your laugh. That's all it was.
Most people do. Guns McGregor, you're up next. You're in a pretty perilous situation. You've just had a hell of a jolt off of this thing. The stun batons that this security robot is packing, they're engineered to take people down in one shot, so you've been lucky to remain on your feet. You know that another hit from this thing is going to lay you out. You also know that this weapon is not lethal. It stands no chance of killing you, but it could take you down and it could knock you out for some time. So what are you going to do?
Fire blindly at it from the floor.
From the floor. Okay.
Well, I presume I've been knocked over at least briefly.
Yep, that makes sense to me. We're going to up the difficulty level to 8 because you're prone on the floor and you've been shocked. So give us a ranged combat roll, which is 1d6 plus agility, plus you get a bonus for being the security officer of the crew.
Right. So I'm going to need it because you wanted 8.
Yep.
7.
7.
So if you give me any bonus at all, I might just scrape the 8.
Okay. Security officer is your primary position, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Then that's a success. You've done damage.
Which is good, because this is basically how he's aiming.
And it was an antique pistol was your weapon, wasn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Like 21st century.
Give us a d6 roll, please.
2.
2. That means that you do 2 points of damage.
Science.
The security robot rears back from the impact of that blast. It spins those stun batons and it focuses its attention on you.
Dodge.
You can actually see that this attack has blown its chassis open. So some of its internals are exposed and sparking now. So clearly you've done considerable damage to this thing. Salvador, you forfeited your action because you dodged. What does Ted Branson do?
I assume because we've technically done some damage to it, reason might be out the window at this point.
Quite likely.
All right. Well, I am a engineer and scientist by nature. Can I leap forward and fiddle with its exposed circuitry?
Yes, you can do that. Give me an agility roll first of all to see if that's successful.
Okay. Yeah, it should be. Oh no!
I'm feeling good about this one, lads.
It's 3. When on the floor, it's 3. Plus, my 1 agility is 4.
3, 4. That's a failure. I'll tell you what.
Do I float over its head, very comically spinning, as a larger gentleman might?
We can say that that's what happens. And as you do this, the security robot again swivels on its axis and it swipes at you with the stun batons to no great effect. But you've confused it at this point. It's wondering what on earth is going on.
So I'm now, I suppose, technically above / behind it, slowly heading to the wall.
I'm going to take your character's tag, and I will say
just don't float him out the window, whatever you do.
You've moved past it and bumped into the wall next to the doorway leading into the station.
Ouch.
So that's where you are. The Enforcer is now going to turn around and it's going to attempt to attack you because it perceives you as a threat. So we'll give that
a large floaty threat.
And it misses. It swipes at you to no effect and slightly loses its balance as it moves.
Ted Branson might be a larger rotund gentleman, but with the power of no gravity, I float by like a balloon on the wind.
It's almost balletic.
Float like a bee, sting like a butterfly.
We're talking Mace's Parade float here, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Guns McGregor, how do you react to seeing what's happened?
I fire blindly at it again, although at least I'm standing up this time.
All right, in that case, It's a difficulty 7 roll. Give us another.
What was it again? Was it agility that we were rolling here?
1d6 plus agility plus your bonus of 2 for being the security officer.
7.
Oh.
All right. That is an interesting result because that is a success with a complication. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is you've used 2 of your ammunition, so mark that off.
I don't know how much ammunition I've got, but I've used 2 of them.
Antique pistol is 12 rounds.
Okay. All right, let me keep track of that.
So you're down to 10.
Yeah.
Give me a d6 roll.
Hang on, I've got to write the number 10. And frankly, Guns needs concentration to write a number with 2 digits.
I'm there in real life, mate. I know exactly what that's like.
Oh yeah, I modelled him on you.
Thanks.
Fans of Dice Foley enjoy the following. 2.
2. Okay.
I'm changing dice.
That's 2 points of damage, which rocks the thing. That shot goes through the hole that your previous shot rent into its chassis, and it erupts in a shower of sparks. The stun buttons that it was flailing around, giving it the appearance of having arms, they just flap about, almost like the thing is going into death throes. And it topples over, bleeding.
Irregularity. Unable to complete directive.
Danger, my arms are flailing wildly.
And then it falls silent. But because you rolled a 7, which is a success with a complication, I'm going to say that the thing suddenly explodes, showering the area with shrapnel. Everyone give me an agility roll. Guns McGregor, you will take a penalty on this, so you have to succeed with a score of 8 or higher. Everyone else has to make 7 or higher. Otherwise, you will take 1 point of damage from flying shrapnel.
Rolled a 6 plus my 1. That's 7.
I have yet again rolled a 2. Suffice to say I failed.
3 plus 1, 4.
4. Okay, that means Guns McGregor is hit by a shard of shrapnel in the shoulder. That does 1 point of damage and renders you unconscious.
We have done well here. We haven't even opened the front door.
He face plants forward straight onto the deck.
Oof.
Yeah. You'll be alright in a minute.
Ted Branson is also hit by flying shrapnel. This does 1 point of damage.
What do I put that on my sheet?
What you do there is your health is equivalent to your strength rating. So whatever your strength rating is, that's how many points of health you've got. You just remove 1 point of health.
Oh, so my strength is 3, so I just put it on 2 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your strength score remains unchanged, but you are injured.
Ah, I see.
Right.
Okay.
Where Salvador Splashraag is concerned, we're going to do something a little more interesting. You have managed to avoid being hit by flying shrapnel, but there is a complication. Have you got any idea what that complication might be?
It's an explosion in a pressurized area. So either it's going to do something to the pressure, or it's going to do something to our ship.
Right.
Oh no.
Why would you suggest a ship?
Dude.
I will rule as General Monitor that you guys have had a really rough start to this scenario already.
Which is strange because we're so competent.
Yes, I mean, like, it's like this is so out of character for you, Dudley. What I'm going to say is, we won't let the ship take any damage.
Woo!
But we'll say a shard of shrapnel flies past Salvador Splashraag, and it embeds itself into a control panel on the wall of the landing bay.
Ooh.
This starts a reaction within the landing bay mechanism, and you hear a disconcerting clank from the hangar bay door.
I've seen Alien Resurrection. I know where this is going.
The door shifts very slightly, and you can see right away that vacuum is starting to suck out any items in the landing bay that aren't nailed down. You see that security robot starts to shift on the floor, and then it flies toward the hangar bay door.
Ted, you get the body, I'll get the door open.
I'll get the robot, you get the door.
No, not the robot, not the robot.
I was just going to point this out because one of the many objects that is non-moving and not tied down is Guns McGregor right now.
Yeah.
Does he not have innate instincts to survive even whilst unconscious?
He's face down, sliding down a docking bay ramp.
One of you is going to have to grab Guns McGregor.
Ted, being the agility king and rotund gentleman he may be, will grab McGregor even though it was his fault he was injured.
Your route into the main facility is unimpeded by this security robot, the Enforcer, that we just had the encounter with.
So can I just get the door open? I don't need to do anything.
You can walk up to the control panel and you can quickly input commands.
Do we have time to pull off a stun button from the robot? Because that might be good to pocket.
I will say, yeah, you can do that. You can grab that.
Ted, get guns. You drag guns over here. I will get the door open. And I run over to the little area where the door gets opened up. And I make it look like it's really difficult for me to open these doors. Like, I make it look like I'm, like, trying to hack it or something like that. Just so it looks like I'm not shirking any responsibility or hard work.
I look at Salvador and I say, now when you say guns, do you mean his gun or do you mean Guns himself?
The man. Just get the man.
So leave his gun, okay.
No, look, bring all of him and things he has. Him, his guns, his clothes. Look, he's sliding out of the lock. Get him.
As you're having this back and forth, you can feel the vacuum of space tugging at you as those doors start to rattle and groan open a little further. So you got to act quickly.
All right, I suppose I'll go and grab him and his gun.
Door is opening. I've hacked it successfully.
Come on here, you pretty man, and your gun. Let's drag you to safety.
When they come through the door and I've got the door shut, can I do some form of medical help for Guns to try and bring him back?
Well, what I'm going to say to that is we'll quickly look back on the map screen again.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
oh no.
I'm going to say that this is knowledge that you've got of the facility being a maintenance team. You know that because these orbital stations are designed as prefabricated units with the intent that they could be staffed by human beings, you know that there are going to be some limited amenities on board the station. Now, typically what happens with this type of facility is that the admin block will usually have some kind of limited medical supplies. They might even have an auto dock in there, something that you can pop Guns into to revive him or heal some superficial wounds. What I'm going to rule about the damage that Guns has taken is that at the moment, Guns, your situation is that you are unconscious because all of your health points have been reduced. The way health works in those dark places is that once your health points are exhausted, you are unconscious. If you fall into minus numbers of health, that's when you're at danger of death. However, 3 points of your damage have been dealt by a stun baton. So I'm going to say that if your companions can get you into an auto dock, then they can basically heal those 3 points back. So you will be at 1 point less, maybe. And maybe we'll work it out when we get there. Maybe there's some more that they can do for you. They can get you back to something approaching full health. We'll see how that goes.
I do have a med kit, so I could like stab him with something just to get him walking again.
Future drugs.
But at this point, I'm assuming that you've gone through the door and you're in the main corridor.
Yes.
All right. You're going to have another complication here because your situation is going to go from bad to really bad, and I'll explain why that is.
Oh, good.
As you bundle in to the main access corridor that leads into the facility, and that airlock door rolls shut behind you. Before you really have a chance to take stock of your situation, the environmental sensors in your vacuum suits, the spacesuits that you're wearing into the station, all suddenly start to ping, and you realise that the heat levels inside the station are sky high.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this isn't going to have any ill effect on any of you at this point because you're protected by your suits. The suits contain enough coolant that they can keep you comfortable even in this high temperature. But in order to perform any kind of surgery or to move about within the station out of your spacesuits, you're going to have to restore environmental control, and you're going to have to bring the temperature down. So, what I want to know at this point is this going to affect the way that you decide to do anything?
I think the first thing we need to do is get to Jerry and start talking to him.
Okay.
To see if we can get the environmental controls under control, and also try to get an idea of what's actually going on.
All right.
In a bit more of a sensible manner. He says, knowing how he's going to do this.
Shouldn't we ask Guns what we should do? I assumed he's completely unconscious and we just kind of look at him. What do we do?
Could draw a face on his spacesuit.
Before you make any set in stone plans, because of what's happened here, because you've suddenly found yourselves attacked by a security robot, and you found this unusual situation with the heat levels on the station. Ted and Salvador, could you both give me a pressure roll, please?
Okay, so it's the dice roll and what?
The pressure roll is 1d6 plus your pressure bonus, and you have to beat a target score of 10.
5.
So
10.
2.
5 on the dice and 5 for the pressure bonus.
Okay.
10.
That means that Ted is okay.
Woo!
7, 8.
8. That's with your pressure bonus?
That's with the pressure bonus.
Unfortunately, that means Salvador isn't coping so well. So your pressure level goes up by 1 step. You are now at pressure level 1.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is there's going to be no ill effects for that failed pressure roll yet. It's once you go past pressure level 2 that you potentially start to have issues. But this means that as you sort of tumble into the station and you're confronted with this new problem, it just kind of puts you in a bit of a panic. So what's happening here, like between Salvador and Ted? I'm curious, which of you at this point is going to try to take charge of the situation?
I think Salvador's just going to keep looking at Ted to see if he speaks or says anything. And just keeps watching. Do you want to, any ideas what we should do next?
Big old smile on my face. I have no idea, man.
Okay.
I'm feeling great.
Should we... I wish I'd taken the ayahuasca before we left. Should we drag Guns along? And then we will go and speak to Gerald and see if there's anything that we can do to fix these problems.
Is the gravity on or off at the moment?
At the moment, the artificial gravity is off, but we can...
Oh, so we can just... Well, okay, I was just checking because I don't want to drag him. We can just push him along. That's fine.
But we can say something that was established in the Cradle, in like the main campaign, is that most spacesuits in this setting will have like magnetic cleats on them. So
no, that's fine. He's unconscious. Yeah. He's face down. So we're just gonna like lightly throw him down the corridor. Feet first, so he doesn't bonk his head. Obviously.
Bear in mind as well that because Guns is being struck by shrapnel, that has punctured his suit.
Oh no!
So that means that if that's left unattended for too long, eventually that's going to start to have an effect on him. That could potentially see his condition deteriorate.
As we lift him up, we just notice that there's gashes in his suit and just go, well, shit. So we spin him around in 0G, Can you sew?
No?
How do we fix the suit? Do we have anything that we could use to fix the suit? Probably not. So we need to get him into one of the other rooms. Which room?
Shall we take another look on the map and we can examine what your most feasible options are, if you like?
I think going down the corridor, getting out the corridor, speaking to Jerry at the end,
Okay.
Yeah.
and just kind of seeing if we can get oxygen and gravity and the volume of heat down.
Okay, what I'm going to quickly show you is that on the station you've got, at the end of that corridor, there's another sliding door there, and that's got a clear window in it. So you can see through there to the impression of a Jerry 9000 terminal. One detail of what you're contending with here as well that's important to bear in mind is that the station is in pitch blackness. Because there are no human staff stationed here, the automated systems, Jerry 9000 and its 2 adjunct units, do not need light to function. So everything's dark. There's a noticeable absence of light, even electronic lights, throughout what you can so far see of the station. But you know the layout of the station well enough to know that if you get out of this corridor, you've got the Jerry 9000 terminal directly in front of you.
I mean, we've got lights in our suits, right?
Yep, you've got,
like in all sci-fi things.
You've got enough illumination to get around, but you can't see everything with complete clarity.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's no choice for it then. We need to stride purposefully out of this corridor and not look around.
Okay.
Oh, we could use guns to poke around the corner.
What a genius idea.
Yeah. Like the door opens and we can like slide his head out with the light on, and then we can
Junk
see
is what he's
outside.
done already, so let's we will open door and we will slide guns his pocket.
My greatest role, a torch.
Salvador, puppeteer one of the arms to wave.
Sci-fi Swiss Army man. That's what you
Look
are.
at it this way, Dudley. It can only get better for you.
Can it?
I mean, one of us could ride him out.
Like a surfboard.
Yeah.
Like the end of Dark Star.
Or at the end of Neverending Story, we just Falcor our way out of here. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, okay. Guns! Guns! We're going to use you to make sure it's safe. Say yes if you don't want us to.
I think we're good.
We're good. Right, let's go.
So you're just poking him through the door and rotating him slowly just to play the headlamp around the corridor.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I've picked the wrong people to play this fucking game with. I'm going to explain to you what you see in the
The
limited light.
science behind what we're doing.
You use what you have.
Who says you can't contribute to a TTRPG stream just because your character is unconscious? I'm going to describe for you what it is that you see in the limited light that's afforded by the headlamp on your unconscious companion. As you awkwardly rotate him in the doorway to look around the main concourse, you can see that something isn't right. That Jerry 9000 terminal that you were aiming to come towards, you see is inactive. Usually these terminals are a mass of push-button controls. There's usually a pull-out keyboard like you'd see on a present-day server for direct input. There's usually microphone inputs, optical sensors, several different illuminated displays. All of them are inactive.
Okay.
Not broken, not damaged, just not on.
Not damaged, just inactive.
Okay.
It appears that Jerry 9000 has been, to all intents and purposes, switched off. The only sign of any activity whatsoever is a tiny amber error light in one corner of the console.
Now, because Ted is the science officer / engineer, would he know how to turn Jerry back on?
That is a good question. Give me an education roll. with any relevant bonuses.
Education 2. Okay, so education roll 2 plus 2 is 4.
Okay.
And then do you want engineering or science?
I'll say engineering.
Okay, that is my second position. So 6.
6 is a failure, unfortunately.
Fantastic.
So you've got no idea what's actually happening with the Jerry 9000 console.
It's broken.
Can we, whilst holding on to Guns' feet, poke the Jerry 9000 console from afar to see if it does anything?
Ooh. Yeah, do we have the range? Is the corridor long enough where we can use his 7-foot tall muscular body as a poking device?
It's a poking device. Yeah, the main concourse is wide enough to accommodate 2 loading vehicles. Because remember, this is how items are ferried to and from the produce vats. So it's a broad concourse. It's very wide. I'm not really sure what you're trying to accomplish there by doing that, though.
Pressing buttons, hitting it until it works, I suppose. Is that right, Salvador?
I just want to see if movement causes anything to happen.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, good call.
You're just going to compound McGregor's misery by battering him into technology.
He doesn't know. He's unconscious. It's fine.
Well, I'm a firm believer that if you're already going to hell, you might as well go whole hog.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything.
No.
Okay.
That console is completely dead.
In that case, then, should we aim to go into the admin room and see... can we go back to the map for a second, please?
We can indeed.
I was just thinking that the 2 places that we could go, power station to see if turning the power on switches Jerry on.
Well, the power's working because the doors are working.
Some of the power's working.
Yeah,
I would imagine it'd be the computer core, because I would imagine Jerry is computery based, and since the doors are working, there is some power at the very least.
I'm just aware that our battering ram is running out of oxygen.
There is limited operational power throughout the facility. You know that because without it, you wouldn't have been able to, for one thing, land the ship, and for another, like Andy says, the electronic doors would not be operational.
Can we put Guns into storage and then go into the computer core?
Like as in the closet? Because I don't think that's oxygen tight.
The jokes I want to make.
I think the first thing we need to do is we need to get him sorted. So,
is there any tape, duct tape, tape around in a common room or in a bunk room? I don't know what you have in bunk rooms apart from beds.
Well, you could take a look. Which of these rooms or areas of the station would you like to investigate first?
Oh, storage might have something.
You can even split and investigate separate areas independently if you want.
Salvador has a gun.
You've got a body.
Yeah, that's true. A battering ram, I'll have you know.
Should we try admin first because that's the closest room?
That makes sense. Yeah, we'll go to admin.
As you turn toward the admin room, you notice that there's a soft lock on the electronic door that leads into the room. But a quick slap of that means that it hisses open. And as you play your lights around the room, you can see what's become of the room.
Is there a light switch? Is it the light switches are all in the down position and that's why there's no lights?
There is lighting, but until until primary power is restored to the station, none of it is really going to work. You've not even really got emergency lighting, just like the odd faint one little electrical light here and there. So the majority of your visibility is going to come from your suit's flashlights.
Yes.
I mean, this thing of twisting Guns McGregor around like a giant torch, I'm going to say you don't really need to do that because you've got your own lamps. You can play them around the room.
Needs must when you've got an unconscious McGregor.
It's also funnier.
As you move into the admin room, you see that it's not really in the state that you would expect it to be. Where you would expect this to be a kind of an office by way of a sparsely appointed medical facility for human use, it seems to have been repurposed as a repair station for Jerry 9000's adjunct units. You can see that there are 2 synthetic maintenance rigs which are set into one wall. These are effectively stand-in stations for the humanoid robots that function on the station as Jerry 9000's physical extension. It's literal arms and legs, if you will. There is an auto dock, which you would expect for a standard medical or a standard orbital facility, rather. You can see that that appears to be in good condition, but it is without power. And as you play your flashlights around the room, nothing else seems to be amiss to begin with. You can see on a table there are a handful of repair tools, the kind of items that would be used to carry out repairs on a synthetic adjunct. There are all manner of strange wrenches, pliers, cable kits. And then, Ted, as you play your flashlight around the room, on the floor, you notice something that startles you. Give me a pressure roll, please, and then I'm going to describe what it is that you see.
6.
6. That's with your pressure bonus?
Yeah.
Okay. Your pressure level goes up to 1. I believe there are no ill effects at this point, but I'm going to tell you what it is that you see.
Is it a mouse?
It is not a mouse.
Okay.
That would be preferable. Sprawled on the floor, in pieces, is one of Jerry 9000's adjunct units. This is a humanoid robot that has the outward physical appearance of being a humanoid in shape. It has contours, it has facial features, but no animation. It is basically an expressionless automaton.
Is it hot?
Say that again?
Is it hot?
Is it hot?
Is it hot?
Is it hot?
Yes.
I can't believe you just asked me that.
Hot or not?
Yeah, hot.
Well, it presents as male. Shall we say that?
Okay, so that's not a no.
Is that answering the question?
I'm gonna hand wave that.
Okay.
Does it look a little bit like Mads Mikkelsen?
It does not. No.
Okay.
It has the basic features of a human being, but no skin texture. Nothing. The surface of this thing is all grey and powder blue plate.
Looks like Mark Zuckerberg, damn it.
That's in all my ticks. Lifeless, grey-skinned.
One of its arms has been twisted off at the elbow. One of its legs appears to be quite dented and badly misshapen, and its chest cavity is torn open from just below the neck to just below where a human being's navel would be.
Inside-y looking, or like does it look like it's been punched out from the inside, or is it being ripped open?
It's a mess to the point that you can't really see enough really of what's happened there to theorize what might have happened to it.
Okay.
All you can see is that the damage that's been done to the torso of this thing, it's as if something has rent it open forcibly, and you can see the internal workings of the adjunct. The coolant pack that usually sits in the chest cavity of these machines, that has been completely drained. It's just like an empty plastic sack, and you can see a few drips of this slightly fluorescent coolant liquid just remain kind of trickling out of the ragged, burst open edge of this bag in its chest. That's the most conspicuous detail of it, and without that coolant pack it is never going to be operational again. So that's the most noticeable feature in the room.
Well, that's not happy. Oh dear. Can we put guns in the autodock even though it's not operational to just keep him going for a little bit, or would just nothing happen?
Without power, the autodock will not benefit Guns McGregor at all, but you can certainly lift the lid on there and put him in there for safekeeping. Just be aware that you're not going to be able to lock this thing down, or...
Can we use the tools to patch up the suit briefly so it won't fix the problem, but it'll just like stave it off for a little bit longer?
Give me an education roll, and if that's successful, I'll say that you can.
How smart are you, Salvador?
Pretty smart.
Like more than 2?
My education is 4.
You should probably do it.
Okay, I'll do it. I mean, I get an education of 8.
I mean, that's pretty smart.
So with a roll, I get 8 altogether.
8 altogether, that's a success. We'll say that you can do that. You can whip out the last remnants of that shrapnel and quickly close up the suit.
And then leave a little red card at the door of this place that says, "We have delivered your guns to Mmmbop."
Right, I think the best thing to do then is, if you want to explore the robot, which I assume that you do, Ted.
Oh, I do.
And if you want to explore the robot in your very deep and personal way, where you get right into the rearranging the guts of the robot, I will go and look at the power.
I'm gonna take its arm.
Okay.
You said it had been pulled off, right? The
Yeah,
arm.
it's been twisted off.
That's my arm now.
Are you going to put the baton that you stole from the other robot into the hand of the arm and have a really long-range melee weapon?
That's a great idea. Let me write that down on my character sheet.
I'm going to go and look at the power and see if I can work out what's going on with it.
Okay.
Baton plus robot arm.
All right. Would you like some stats for that stun baton?
Yes, yeah, why not?
That is functionally the same as a stun pistol as per the rules in those dark places, except that it's a melee weapon.
Is it still on the whip, or is it not on the whip, out of interest?
It was never on a whip, it was on like a jointed
Oh, okay,
thing.
okay.
That will do damage of 4.
Damage 4 plus.
It is a non-lethal weapon.
Non-lethal.
And it has an ammo rating of 3. We'll say that's how much charge there is in it. After 3 uses, it will be spent.
Ah, but it will still be a stick.
It will, and then it will become a cudgel.
It will still be a metal stick. Okay, how much damage will a metal stick do?
That will do up to 2 points of damage.
Metal stick plus 2. Is that lethal damage? Because it's a stick?
It can be. Depends what you do with it.
Okay. Notes made.
Okay. So, what are you going to do with this robot at this point? I mean, Salvador's going to go and check out the power control station. But what are you going to do while he's doing that? Are you inspecting this, or...?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at the damage it's taken and see if I can assess what did it, and if it's possible to install a new coolant thing in it to get it to basically work again briefly.
Okay.
Granted, we don't have one. I'm just figuring out if that is a possibility that I can do if we find a coolant pack.
It's reasonable to suggest that there would be additional coolant packs.
In this room as well, right?
Maybe not in this room. I'll have to check the notes for that. I don't think that there are.
We're going to be dragging 2 bodies around the station.
No, we're leaving guns in the pod.
There are no additional coolant packs in the admin block, but you're likely to find them in, say, I think the storage area. The power control center may have some. Just looking over the notes I've got here for the map, I think there's a few other locations where you might find them. You won't know until you go in there.
So guns is in the pod, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna put the robot carcass next to him and make sure that the hands interlock, so they're holding hands.
There isn't room in it for that. Come on.
Well, it's just his hand poking through. I just want Guns to not feel alone while he's unconscious and know that when he wakes up, he's okay.
Just wakes up.
Guns, just how comatose are you at this point, do you think?
I mean, presumably I'm still unconscious until I'm mechanically not unconscious, other
Yeah.
than the night terrors. But if I wake up and Salvador's dragging Ted's lifeless corpse around the station but has abandoned me, I'm going to feel a little bit abandoned.
Yeah. Nobody should have their first thought of waking up be that escalated quickly.
That's like the fact you wake up from night terrors and just have this broken plastic face staring deeply into your eyes.
No, I've been there before. I've had nights out in Norwich.
So, what's Salvador doing then? You're heading off to the power control center.
Yes, I'm going to go and look to see if I can turn the power on, or at least work out what's happening, why nothing's working.
So, as you exit the admin room and move toward the power control station, it is literally you walk out of that room and there it is on your right. There's like an electronic door there which has slid open and stayed open. So something is not quite right there. But you can get through into the power control station easily enough. What are you going to look for once you get in there?
First thing I'm going to do is ready my pistol. And then I'm going to look for some form of interface to see if there is anything that gives me any information on what's going on with the power and how to switch it back on.
All right. What you notice as you move into the power control station is that it's a strange arrangement where you have two doors that you have to walk through. There's that first one that was jammed open, and you move in through there. Maybe you're shining your light around to look for anything untoward.
Can I see anything that's jamming the door open?
No, it appears to be an electrical failure because
Right,
it's just sort of slid and stopped. The second door that leads into the actual control station part of the power control center, that you can get through fairly easily. It's just a case of you whack a panel on the wall, it slides open, and there's next to no illumination, but the data terminals and consoles, all the input devices there are still powered. You can see that there are backlit keys. There are some very simple CRT style displays, so you can see
classics.
You've got enough there that you can start digging about and see what's going on with the station, what's active, what systems are inactive, that kind of thing. In fact, let me just check on the notes for it. Is there anything particularly here that you want to look for?
Mostly it's I need to work out how to get the power on. So is there a terminal that is power display and restart and that
Yes.
kind of thing?
You can take the server style keyboard that folds out of the panel and you can start tapping away on that. That will show you a simple overview of the facility and what the power allocation is, and you notice straight away two strange things. One is that it appears that there's some kind of warning glyph over the gen food processing room on the map. So that indicates that there's perhaps something has gone wrong there. You notice as well that power supply throughout the primary systems of the station seems to be fluctuating. So something is not quite right there. But you do note that you've got the options there in the power control center to reactivate artificial gravity. You can deactivate atmospheric systems in the gene food processing plant, that part of the station. You can also restore life support. You can set about a process of air conditioning so that you can bring the temperature of the station down. But you do also notice next to that control panel that gives you access to all of the power management systems for the facility, there is, as is standard in these facilities, a locker where you would expect coolant cells, like larger industrial versions of the coolant pack that is inside the adjunct unit that you found.
Yep.
These are larger items that are intended for cooling industrial machinery. And the facility needs these because they tend to run quite hot. You've got the heat generated by the AI system. The whole process of actually cycling the algae and turning it into edible food is quite an energy intensive process as well. And you notice that locker has been, again, like the chest of the adjunct unit in the admin room, that appears to have been forced open. And you can see some trickles of that faintly fluorescent coolant liquid are dripping down, and they're actually contributing to the feeble light in the room. So, what do you make of that?
I'm placing 100 Wolverhampton doubles on those gremlins on this building. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to restore gravity, and I'm going to restore power, and I'm going to do it, and reset the environmental control so everything's down to a reasonable temperature, and I'm going to do it in every room except the one with the warning glyph, and then I'm going to open the warning glyph.
Okay.
And I want to see what that says.
All right.
Because if the power goes on, I'm hoping Ted will have the realization that, oh, I can now get guns fixed.
All right. Okay. As you do this, you hear the hum of power as the station comes to life. As you're initiating this step-by-step process. The first thing you notice is that, first of all, overhead illumination becomes active. You're bathed in light and you no longer need the flashlight on your environment suit. You then feel the weight of gravity as it takes hold, and where you had a kind of a floatiness of being in 0G, that ebbs away as the AG plating becomes active. Now, it's going to take a little while. It's going to take maybe an hour or so for the temperature to climb down to a level that's comfortable for you to navigate the station outside of your environment suits. But you were saying that you wanted to investigate that warning error glyph.
Yep. So as long as there's power and we can get guns fixed, then the next thing is to check the warning glyph.
Okay.
And hope to hell it is not gremlins. I do not want to deal with gremlins. Not again.
As you attempt to access that information on the power control center, it comes up with a dialog box which says, "Error in gen food processing vats. Please consult internal logs."
Okay. Is another terminal full of logs that I now need to look at? Or are they books?
You know from experience of this kind of facility that those internal logs are going to be potentially one or both of two things. One is going to be an internal log that's kept within the gen food processing center.
That's not the answer I was hoping for.
That will be a terminal that's in that room, but it's also quite likely that the Jerry 9000 AI unit in the facility will have some information about what's going on there.
Okay. Right then. Oh, is there anything else? Did I turn oxygen on?
I don't think you did, but I think you did say you want to reactivate atmospheric.
Yeah. So, okay. Oxygen is on. I'm going to take off my helmet. I'm going to unstrap my beard. I'm going to give my face a quick clean and strap my beard back on. And then, right, I'll head towards Jerry.
Okay. Bear in mind that it is still incredibly, stiflingly warm inside the station. We're going to check back in on Ted Branson. Ted.
Yes?
As the lighting in the admin room flares up to full power, you notice as well that the auto dock suddenly becomes active. It starts beeping and making all manner of kind of notification alarms because it's basically come back to life and detected that it has somebody in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are you going to do now that you've got a clearer view of everything? What's happening there?
I'm gonna use the machine to save Guns and bring him back into the game.
Okay. I'm going to say that doesn't require any kind of roll or anything at all.
Thank you.
Hooray!
You just hear an automated voice that says,
Caution. Patient detected in Mmmbop. Please be advised that all healthcare options require the removal of any external apparatus or clothing.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
it can't do anything to Guns while he's in that bulky suit.
And we've just like strapped him back into it.
Guns McGregor is thrusting in the direction of the problem.
Unconsciously so. Donk, donk, donk.
Some things are
donk.
instinct.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to pull him out and then pull him off. I mean, take his clothes off.
Well, there's a turn of phrase.
Gotta suck the poison out. He hasn't been poisoned.
I'm gonna hum the full Monty theme while I do it.
We were already demonetized. I wouldn't worry about it.
I mean, first Guns was in the closet. Now he's in a medi bay being pulled off. This was not a part of his character I expected to be exploring in episode 1.
That's the magic of roleplay.
Yeah. Thankfully, he won't remember.
So you're basically going to get him into a fit state for the auto dock to do its thing.
Yeah, that seems wise.
Okay. We'll say that as you're doing that, as you're jostling Guns McGregor about in the auto dock and trying to get him out of his environment
He's fighting
suit.
me. He's fighting me.
I think I preferred being unconscious.
Is there any kind of reaction going on here?
One you didn't expect. Oh, okay.
I could just see Guns McGregor being this tough, muscle-bound hombre is just being sort of, like, you know, gently sort of nudged about in the medport going...
I think this is just being incorporated into his dreams.
Well, I mean, if you look at my stats, my agility's not high, so I don't think gentle would be Bill Bryson's way. Sorry, Ted Bryson's way.
There's only so much you can do when you're in your own environmental suit.
So you need to take yours off first. In order to take it off.
One way to avoid someone making a porn parody: be your own.
As Ted's doing this, attending to Guns McGregor, over the kind of like the rustling of the material of the environment suit, over the pops and the cracks of the zippers and the fasteners,
And the hot, sweaty environment of the station.
suddenly in the room, you can hear a curious sound from over your shoulder.
Okay. What is the sound? Describe the sound.
It's a strange kind of wet sound. It's like...
Oh God!
Salvador, is that you?
I'm sorry. It could happen to anyone.
It's not coming from Salvador.
There's this horrible wet sound. You turn around, it's just Salvador putting like hand moisture on.
There's a sound of kind of like wet surfaces being pulled apart. It's like a kind of a very pronounced and grotesque kind of suction sound.
Oh God!
How close am I to finishing Guns off?
You bastards. The point of the detailed medical procedure that you're performing is...
Yes. That's what I was talking about, yeah.
No, I mean, at this stage, the way I envisage it, all you're doing is you're literally just trying to get Guns into a state where the autodoc can do what it needs to. You know, you just need to get him
And
down
how
to his...
near are we the climax of that procedure?
What you're doing here is not like a terribly involved thing. You're just trying to expose enough of Guns so that the autodoc has got skin it can work with, so it can pop a few hypodermic injectors onto him, that kind of thing.
Well, Ted's a man who likes to finish a job when he starts it, so I'm going to finish it off before I look at the sloppy, wet sound effect.
As you're doing that, that horrible kind of fluid sound behind you, which you can now kind of hear, it's sort of behind you and a little overhead, maybe. Suddenly, you hear that develop into a kind of a stretching sound. Is that going to cause you to look at it?
Have I finished
Yes.
putting him in?
Yes,
Okay.
you've finished.
Okay, good. Then yes, I do now look at the thing. I finished my job. I can now look at the thing.
We're going to ask for another pressure roll in a second. You see that the source of this sound is... It's an air vent built into... like, just off of the ceiling of the admin room. And you can see that there is this huge kind of pudgy, gelatinous mess that's kind of coagulated around the
Well,
vent.
it's been a while.
And that has kind of... that mass has stretched and dripped down onto the floor now. So there's almost like that kind of like... It looks like when you take a piece of chewing gum and stretch it.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. But this thing looks like it's made of some kind of wet cement. It's just formless. And you see that it's kind of trickling down out of this vent. Almost as though it's got some kind of purpose behind it. Give me that pressure roll.
I think I pulled the muscle.
7.
7. Is that with your pressure bonus?
Yeah.
Okay. That is a failure. Give me a d6 roll, please.
That is a 4.
That is a 4. I believe that means that you're okay.
Woo!
You don't suffer any kind of pressure effects there.
Do I add an extra pressure level?
Yeah. I've factored that into the result there.
Okay.
So you don't take any kind of ill effects from failing that pressure roll, but you are kind of horrified at this strange sight. It looks quite alien. You're not really sure what you're looking at. And as you're looking at it, it just seems to kind of fully exit this air vent and pool on the floor in this large, pudgy, kind of gelatinous blob. And then it seems to, almost as though it has a mind and cognition of its own, seethes towards you on the floor. And we'll pick this up next session.
So, just to clarify, you say there is one AI core, and it's accompanied by, like, 2, like, adjunct.
Let me go onto the main players feed so that we can get a better look at this.
Do you really want to get a look at my laboured penis joke?
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what we were going for there.
Okay.
Anyway, we're going to admin.
I'm going to take us back onto the map stream because I am not leaving that in the edit.
I once spent 6 months working on the laboured penis. It was not a good ship.